Welcome, everyone, to the information session for the Four Bodies, a 6-week full body nurture journey. Mariana and I are going to run through this program and what you can expect and how much fun it'll be. We have spent a bit of time discussing this over the past few weeks, and we're really excited to offer it to a group of people. So, a little bit about us. I'm Christy Cerullo. I'm a clairvoyant healer and teacher. My company is called Dark Moon Energy Work, and I mainly work with women to help them rediscover their spiritual gifts and tune into their innate body's healing wisdom.
And I'm Mariana Santiago Jimenez. I'm a holistic health coach, and I'm dedicated to empowering women and families to thrive. I work with my clients to organize their food choices and daily schedule so that they can maximize their time they spend on vital wellness practices.
So you can probably tell that Mariana and I have a lot in common. And that's what we discovered when we met a few months ago. We just kind of started talking and had a
You
lot
really did.
to discuss because we just I remember you were talking about food and I then I talked about like my journey in like functional medicine and how I helped heal my body through like changing my diet and kind of the energetics underneath that. So we
And
just
then I was so fascinated by one, your journey, but then when you started talking about like your clairvoyant healing, and I mean, I could just remember I was like nodding my head with everything because I'm like, oh, there are probably still things that like I didn't even think about, and that's what made this whole thing so powerful when we were talking.
yeah, and we were like, there's a program here. We just have to figure out what it is. Um, so here's what it ended up being. We're going to talk a little bit about it, the benefits of participating. We'll go over logistics and schedule, and then we'll leave you with our contact information if you have any questions. So this program is going to take course over the course of 6 weeks, and it's meant to realign your emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical well-being. So it's called the Four Bodies because these are the four parts of the self that we are going to dive into one at a time. So we're going to work our way kind of, you could think about it almost like your aura, like we're working the different layers around your physical body. So we're going to work on the emotional layer, the spiritual layer, the mental layer, and then end with the physical layer. And
And I
something
just want to jump in because I think what makes that so powerful is that me as a health coach, there are different aspects that we talk about. There is the wellness wheel, and it's broken down into 12 different sections. And as we were really talking about these bodies and the auras around them, it really touches on every single aspect of the wellness wheel, right? And so, that's why we're focusing on this reflection, renewal, self-discovery, because it really opens it up and then it jumps into the benefits. I'll let you take over there again.
Yeah, the benefits are to reconnect, release, realign, and renew. And I find that a lot of times when we're trying to make habits stick, it might seem like something really simple that we're trying to do, like drink more water, or go to bed early, or eat healthier. And we're so hard on ourselves because sometimes we just have such difficulty implementing those habits. But it's normally because the physical act isn't what's hard. What's hard is getting through the mental blockages or the emotional pain that's preventing us from being able to have that, or disconnection from our spiritual selves and why we want to have those practices in the first place. So oftentimes we just need to dig a little bit deeper and get to the root of what's blocking us
And I
from
think you pointed
having
out so
wellness.
many good things there because it reminds me of my journey when I lost 100 pounds. That's exactly what it felt like. I know it's not easy to lose weight, right? There can be, we all know to change our diet, to kind of look at what we're eating. I mean, you can kind of, it gets convoluted in the nutrition world, but I would have these moments of like, I'd be really, really good for an extended period of time, and then wham, I was off, and then I couldn't get back on. And I already knew I knew what to do, but it felt like I was blocked. I couldn't get there. And over time, I learned how to shorten and shorten that gap, and I continue to. But it just, the all those questions that you were kind of bringing up and the blockages, I think most of us feel that and want to be able to overcome it, or at least have the tools to be able to if it happens to us again.
Yeah, and I know that's something that we have in common is that we've both felt like we were at odds with our body or like fighting, just like our body was the problem or like we were fighting our body. My background in why I pursued clairvoyant training was because I was experiencing chronic pain and I kept trying to find the physical cause of it and a physical solution for that health problem. And what I discovered was the solution wasn't in the physical, it was in the energetic space in my body and how I was just holding on to people's energies that wasn't even mine, other people's emotional energy, other people's mental energy in my space. And when I learned the tools of how to clear that, that's when I started feeling well again. And so we're trying to get back on the same team as our body through this program.
So, is this program right for you? And I really want you to think about these as we explore the bodies. So, for the emotional body, do you often feel overwhelmed by your emotions and unsure how to manage them? Are you holding on to emotions or experiencing or experiences, I'm sorry, that no longer serve you? For the mental body, is your mind constantly racing, making it hard to focus or feel at peace? Do you feel stuck in negative thought patterns or limiting beliefs?
And for the spiritual body, do you feel disconnected from your purpose or see deeper sense of meaning? Are you struggling to feel peace or gratitude in your daily life? For the physical body, do you feel disconnected from your body and unsure how to care for it? Are you struggling to create or maintain healthy habits that support your well-being?
And as part of the holistic wheel, do you feel like you're just going through the motions and not truly thriving? Are you craving more balance between your work, family, and personal growth?
And so if you answered yes to any of those questions, these are the things that we're going to dive into in this program. The way this is going to be organized is it's going to be a little bit of group activities and discussion and a little bit self-led. So each week, you will receive a suite of practices to choose from to help you explore, heal, and revitalize the body. We're going to work our way again through the four bodies. And each one, you'll be given a list of different practices kind of throughout the suite of wellness and mindfulness modalities. So there'll be a little bit of everything for you to tune into based on what aligns with you and what resonates and what is easy and accessible for you. So just to give some examples, when we're working through the emotional body, you might choose to cook a meal that reminds you of your childhood. When we're working on the mental body, you might choose to go to a place nearby that you've always wanted to visit. When we're working on the spiritual body, you might do a practice like candle gazing or lion's breath work to ignite that inner fire. When we look at the physical body, you might choose a hands-on healing practice that helps calm the nervous system. So those are just some examples of how you will intuitively choose from a collection of different activities for, throughout the week. There will be a nurturing and aligned community, so you'll join other participants as well as Mariana and I in a dedicated Facebook page, and here we'll just be in discussion over the course of the week of what's coming up for everyone. Are you experiencing any blocks? Are you really loving a certain practice? Are there other practices you're finding really helpful? We'll kind of seed the group with some questions to kind of spark some thought and creativity. And I think this is like the secret sauce of a program like this is committing to it with a group of people because that just that just makes you more likely to follow through with it. And it creates a container for it so you know you're not in it alone.
Yeah, and I also think, with different wellness studies, it is proven that when we do things as a group, we usually finish as a group. Whereas when we're doing things on our own, it's a lot easier to kind of pick it up and put it down. But when you're kind of committing to other people, you show up. We're accountability partners with one another. And not only that, but you have us to rely on if there's questions or if you're having challenges, kind of you can kind of bounce those things off with us throughout the program. And that's what makes community. And you also learn from each other. And I think that's what fascinates me the most when I do group work with people is because sometimes as the instructor, I can kind of sit back and be a part of, but I'm sometimes blown away by the experiences other people are having, and we all learn from one another.
Yeah, that's a great point. And then the last thing on this slide is weekly inspiration and energy boost. So we will have a weekly group meeting and we'll talk about the week that's coming up and our goals. You'll get to receive guidance and help ground your intentions for the upcoming week. So every week we'll have a check-in and we'll get to see how did everyone do last week? What do we feel going into the week coming up? And just get a little bit of cheerleading to kind of stay the course.
And so you will have support for transformation. This is where we'll be, working these energies in a dynamic and held space. We'll help you to release patterns that no longer serve you. You'll be able to integrate these new lessons and step into the energy of rebirth and renewal. Um, and then you're going to have a quantitative assessment of growth. So you'll end the program with a clear picture of where you started and the progress that you have made.
All right, so why are we offering this program now? It is not a coincidence that we are planning to kick this off as we are entering spiritual seasons of reflection and renewal. We're entering the spring season, so this is a big energetic time where we're transitioning between the darker, colder months into the lighter and brighter months. And with that comes kind of this energetic wave that we can catch and ride and take advantage of that shifting energy that's happening externally, in the planet and mimic that internally. So we're going to catch that wave and ride it. If you're someone who observes the traditions of Lent, Passover, Ramadan, you'll find that this coincides with a lot of those similar themes. And there's a reason all of those seasons kind of overlap with each other. And it's because it's a powerful time of the year to set intentions, to shed what doesn't serve us anymore, and to put new habits and practices in place to carry us forward into the year.
And I just want to take a moment on that because I know for me, the most major transformations that have happened in my life have been me per se with how I practice is through the Lenten season. Um, and I can count in the last several years, they have just been so powerful in themselves. And so when me and Christy were talking, she's also had, different things that have happened to her during this time. And so as she talked about, we're kind of riding this natural wave of transformation. And it really holds that container for, the assignments and the group work that we're going to be doing together.
Yeah, definitely. It's again helpful to have a supportive community. So, kind of something that goes along with transitioning into spring and summer months is kind of being out more, being seen, being in community. So, this is a community that will provide tools to reset and realign for a fresh start, as well
Yeah,
as finding
we
balance.
all want to end that hibernation phase. So
Yeah, we're done hibernating. We're ready to go out into the sunlight and be seen. And then finally finding balance, helping create lasting balance and alignment in daily life. So really, not just doing habits for a few weeks and then dropping them, but really grounding them into our daily practices.
And so program benefits, you're really going to be able to find a deeper reconnection with your inner self, this emotional release and clarity, spiritual alignment and renewed purpose. We've talked about a nurturing community for support and accountability and the tools and insights for ongoing balance. And I want to stress that one because I know for me at different times of my life, I've always been able to go back to different practices that I've held and that I adore or that's really helped me. And our hopes is that if things like this happen again, or you're starting to feel the energy shifts, you're able to come back to these practices and say, let me walk through where am I feeling stuck again? Or am I starting to feel it? Can I recognize it sooner? And then going towards these practices, it's that education piece, right? You've already built in these habits by, working with us here. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the schedule and logistics. So week one is one of my favorite weeks. It's meant for this grounding, this preparation, and intention setting, right? Asking yourself, where are you right now? And really being able to sit with that for a solid week and of reflection and almost envisioning where you want to go with yourself. And then week two is where we enter the bodies and also the four elements. So this is where we start with the emotional body, and that's the water elements. And then we have the mental body and air elements. And then for week four, this is when we start the spiritual body with the fire elements. And then week five is the physical body and earth elements, that groundedness. And then when we get to week six, this is that quantitative assessment that we were talking about, where we're in gratitude and insights, but we're also able to look back to where we started in week one because we took that week of reflection to really truly know where we're starting from and where we ended up on week six to really be able to quantify that and have kind of those little statistics for ourselves and say, wow, this was really great for me. And so when are we going to be having these programs? We're going to be doing them on Friday evenings, starting on March 7th. We'll be holding them on weekly Zooms. But before I talk about the rest of this, I do want to stress why we picked Fridays. Fridays, I think naturally, as Christy kind of talked about before, we're riding the energy wave of like spring renewal. But also, there's like a natural energy throughout the week, right? Generally, by Friday night, it's almost like it's the weekend, right? We get to rest and relax and kind of restore for the week ahead. And so we wanted to have this on Friday nights when our week is winding down and we're able to kind of take these practices on the weekends and also be able to extend them through the week to kind of set ourselves up. And so we'll have during the week, we'll have like different Facebook discussions. We'll have the tailored activities. We would love to see what you guys are deciding to work on, what activities you picked from if you want to share it with the group. And then finally, the cost is 297 per person. And I think so yes, so here is how to register because we hope that you're ready to begin this journey with us. And so here's my email address. It's I'm sorry. It's gethealthywithmariana@gmail.com. I almost said my full name again. Or you can call or text me at 908-752-0059 to confirm that you want to participate with us. And I can either send you a payment link or I can send you an invoice, whatever's most convenient for you. And so the week of the program, you'll receive invitations for the ongoing, for the weekly Zooms, and you'll be added into the Facebook group.
All right. So we'll leave you with Mariana's and my contact information. If you have any questions or you want to follow us, to keep in touch with us on any future programs we might be offering, you can get in touch with us here. But we really hope to see you for this program. I think if you are the type of person who wants to deepen into your wellness practices, wants to explore different practices that you haven't been exposed to before, and wants to connect with a group of people who are kind of interested in the same things, I think this will be a really fun group program. Any final thoughts or words of wisdom, Mariana?
I think that I'm just really excited to get started. I'm working through some things myself, and I'm excited to try the exercises and go through everything. Honestly, it's that time of year for me that like I'm excited for this energy journey, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with all of you.
Yeah, I think one of the fascinating things about this program is how people just kind of like uncover these bits of wisdom in themselves over the course of the weeks, and then they get to share them with the group, and it's kind of like this, everyone gets to bounce off of each other's energy, and I find that it's like kind of builds over time, which is really fun to see.
Yeah, I agree. And I know like I think I'm most excited because, I mean, as you know, but not many people know that haven't met me yet. I have a daughter and she's going to be almost 2 in April. And so having this time of just being able to commit to myself, right? Have some me time, have some time to reflect and restoration is so huge. I think our lives get to be, and I don't know if you can hear her screaming
Oh, yes.
at the door. But it's this time of really being able to restore. And I find that so many of us are so busy, working and juggling families and, transitioning out of jobs or, I don't know, like everyone is so busy and their lives are so different that to slow down and be able to share something like this with a small group of people, I just think it just becomes so magical. So, I don't know why I felt moved to share that. So,
Well, it's wonderful. But we're in very similar positions. We're both going through, we have transitions coming up, and I love that you use the word magical because it will be magical for
it
sure.
will.
All right, we hope to see you there and
Yes.
see you soon.
See you soon.